Okay, it's time to sound the alarm for publishing in science fiction and fantasy. A lot of these companies are in huge trouble, and we're seeing just domino after domino fall going on right here. Now, I'm going to talk about this Alex DeCampi bit in a different video, probably on my comic book channel, which is JDA Talks Comics, if you're not subscribed over there. But this is part of what's happening with the publishing industry right now, as this Unbound Publishing went out of business and just didn't pay a ton of authors at all. And we're seeing more and more of this because we've gotten lots of examples going on right now. Now, I'm seeing signs of this happening all through traditional publishing because the traditional publishing model doesn't make any sense anymore. It really doesn't. You go out there and these companies go out and they put their ebooks out at like $9.99 or $14.99 when Indie Press puts it out at like $4.99 or $3.99 usually for an ebook. And it's like, well, what's going to win in that juncture? They also don't put their books up on Kindle Unlimited, which is where most of the readers are at also. It's absurd with what happens with these presses. And it's like they're stuck in this model where they're like, okay, well, we're going to get you into bookstores. Well, that's true and it's not true. If you're a smaller author, you actually get screwed. You don't get seen whatsoever. They don't give you any promotion whatsoever. And we're going to have a big talk about this right now with this company went under. Another company, Apex Books, which does Apex Magazine, is struggling big time. And, of course, having lots of problems, not even going to be putting their books into bookstores. Baen Books just had a new release, which just went terribly because of their lack of marketing. And Arc Press, which is the new Peter Thiel company, which is going to be doing the same thing with the same people, is begging people to consider why you need a publisher, which you kind of don't. If you're an author at this point, you're in one of two positions. One, you have your own following, in which case it's easy for you to just sell books and do things yourself. Two, you don't have your own following, in which case you're not going to get one from being at these companies anyway. You're probably going to get one or two books out from them before they just cut you loose, and that's going to be it. And so this is pretty wild stuff that's going on, and there's a lot of companies all involved. Like I said, I think this is an industry-wide problem, and they're in trouble, and we're going to go over some of these examples in just a moment. So please hit the like and subscribe button, guys. We are trying to change the culture, do things for independent authors, build a new infrastructure, which is awesome, and we have an awesome community of science fiction and fantasy fans. So I've got a lot of homework for you right here because, and I know don't get mad at homework, because I want you involved in the community, and I want to make sure that we build something that's awesome going forward. Number one, of course, is sign up for my newsletter. My newsletter is where I will talk about my new releases, my books, and little science fiction tidbits and things like that. As I write, I often forget to send out a newsletter, and I'm sorry about that, folk. But I am trying to get better at that as well. But you get 3 free books for signing up. You get a sci-fi book, a fantasy book, and a superhero graphic novel comic book. And because of that, that is a great deal. It's like $50 of value for nothing. And that way you stay in touch with me because I have a lot of cool projects coming out. I've got a brand new space exploration trilogy about to drop. A lot of fun stuff that I want you to check out. And that is a great spot to be. I also want you to check out my books and support our channel. So this is my Arroz War trilogy. My space exploration series is in this world, and it's going to be out of this. And so check this out. It's in the description below. It's on ebook, print, and audio. It's on Kindle Unlimited, all the ways to make it easy for you. Thank you so much for making this a bestseller and making this series something I can live off of. That's really awesome, guys. And if you do have Audible credits, it's early in the month, so this is a great way to go in. There is a full trilogy here, which really builds up nicely. Great characters, a wonderful world. If you like Babylon 5, if you like Baen Books stuff from the 1980s, you're really going to love this. This is right up your alley. All right, thanks so much for supporting us, guys. We also have a Discord community if you want to get involved and of course, chat. And thanks for being here. Okay, so those are the 3 things. And yes, thank you for engaging in all those things. In marketing, and I'm going to talk about marketing a little bit in this video, Marketing 101 is don't tell an audience to do multiple things. Just pick one. And I'm bad about that because I've got so much going on. But please, guys, it is so important to do all the things. Check them down. Let me know you did them in the comments. I appreciate everybody, especially who's doing so. But yes, that's a marketing fail right there. But there's a lot of marketing fails going on that are causing a lot of problems. Of course, we talked about this. Alex DeCampi claims this weird little thing right here was selling great for them, but she didn't get paid at all for the book. And of course, they went under. Unbound Publishing is gone and got by the wayside. Also, Apex Books put up this blog post the other day. Hold on, I'm on the wrong page for Apex Books. terrible YouTuber. Good author, terrible YouTuber. They have a blog, and they're talking about looking into the future. Now, that's an interesting title by Jason Sizemore here. But if you read this here, Diamond Comics actually had a lot of their distribution going on, and because of that, Apex Books just didn't get paid. A lot of their invoices that are outstanding are just getting nuked. They're not going to pay their talent and things like that. And they've got a lot of problems going on. And they're going to be shutting down a lot of things, including books going into bookstores for the time being. Oof, that's a lot of pain for them. And so Jason Sanford, who's a serial troll, who his entire claim to fame is trying to shut down conservatives in the culture, not a very talented writer whatsoever, got picked up by Apex Books out of his clout in the industry for what he does on the reporting here. And, of course, he's announcing that his books are not going to be out in the bookstores now. And, of course, it's looking like his books are in trouble because of that. Hilarious stuff. And couldn't happen to a nicer person. Now, on a nicer person front, there's also problems going down. It's not just politics that are causing the things. This is a systemic business problem with the book industry that's going on right here. And so we do have issues as well going on with Baen Books, which is probably much why you're here. And if you look at this, Baen Books actually had a new release this week. You might have not known about this, but Baen Books is also one of those companies that's just stuck way in the past. If you look at their website, it looks like a GeoCities site out of 1996 or something. And you're kind of like, okay, here's the new releases. What am I looking for here? Now, they used to have a very robust community with Baen's Bar, which they've outsourced kind of now. And you can kind of see their new releases. They've got some stuff coming out. Eric Flint, I don't understand how this is happening, because he's been dead for several years, so not sure what that's about. But they've got an anthology coming out, a couple Timothy Zahn reprints, I believe, and I'm not sure what this is. And then, of course, there's some advanced stuff coming out. Now, Baen Books, like many companies at this point, are living off of a couple of authors really floating everybody else. And, of course, Larry Correia is the number one on that. They wait for his checks to pay other authors. I've had Baen Books authors tell me that they've been late on payments for their royalties and stuff like that. All signs point to a lot of trouble with this company. And as we know, Arc Press spun out of this company and siphoned off a lot of their talent out there, which we'll get into in just a second, because Arc Press is showing some weird signs as well that things might not be all peachy keen over there as well. That's a pun. But here is what we have right now. Now, of note, there's a new book coming out, and Baen's trying to push a couple of new authors. One of them here is Melissa Olthoff. And this book just came out this week, and just as a person who is interested in the health of the industry, I just kind of watch this stuff. And I noticed a distinct lack of promotion. And whenever there's a book that Baen has out and it's not a named author that you recognize, there's always a lack of promotion coming from this company. They actually removed their publicity guy back in, I believe, 2023. He got laid off. They never replaced him. And it was either 2023 or 2024? But regardless, that guy was the only person trying to actually generate some publicity for Baen Books. Otherwise, Baen Books just has its own little staff. They're understaffed. They're nothing. They don't have much going on here, and it's a massive problem. So they just post their stuff to their own social media, and their social media is not garnering a lot of engagement or actually helping any of the authors whatsoever. And so what needs to happen is a few things, but I'm not going to just give away my trade secrets. Honestly, I could help these guys out quite a bit, and it's really, really sad because they need my help tremendously. I was looking at this the other day, and they actually were running a live stream. And they were running a live stream with this author right here, one person watching, and that means I was watching, and that's it. And so nobody was paying attention to this live stream. It ended up with 16 views after about a couple days out there. Really, really sad. I mean, they're misusing their YouTube channel if they're not doing this right here, which they're not. And so this is a problem where they're not connecting with the readership. They're not doing things here. This is not anything to say about Melissa here. I don't know her. I have not read her fiction. I think that her premise for her book here looks pretty interesting, actually. It kind of gives me a Dragon Riders of Pern vibe. I don't have a problem with her at all. This is not an indictment on her at all. It is an indictment on Baen Books not promoting anybody. Because Melissa here, if you look at her X account, she's got a couple of hundred followers. She really does not have a presence. And so she's a person that they're trying to bring up Well, if they're trying to bring the person up, you need to do marketing for her. She can't do it herself. She doesn't have a presence that's going to get reach or get seen. And that's what your job is as a publisher. Otherwise, this is just going to flail to the wind. And that's exactly what happened, unfortunately. I'm looking at this right now, and it's really, really sad. If you go on Amazon, you can see this just came out yesterday, and it's sitting at 152,000 as a rank. Well, it was sitting at 150,000 yesterday as a rank as well. Now, I'll break down what Amazon means for you. In the 150,000 range, you're selling a book every day or two or three, and that's it, one book, right? And so that's where you're at on the Kindle store at this point. And since it didn't move and it just kind of drifted a little bit downward over the last day since the launch day, that means that it didn't sell a book even on launch day. And that's a bad, bad thing. Again, what's happening? Does Baen Books have an email list that they're going out to people with? Or what's happening to promote this right here? It's again, like you have a good looking cover, which actually is a rarity for Baen Books. I think this is pretty compelling, and you have a premise that looks pretty cool. And so what's happening here? It's not getting seen and not getting shown to anybody. And that's exactly what's happening with Baen Books and their lack of marketing. So that's a big, big, bad problem. If you're putting out books and you have to invest in editors, you have to invest in a payroll and things like that at a company like this, you have to invest in covers, and it's selling a copy, maybe less than that, because over its launch day, you're losing a lot of money, because what happens is they launch things, and of course, this video, ironically, is probably going to get more people to click on it. Might actually generate them some sales. You're welcome. But we'll see if we can talk to Melissa Olhoff and see if she's a decent writer and things like that, and maybe we'll promote her. So you go to Baen Books though, and it's pretty troubling, right? So here is they got 26,000 followers. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you look at their posts, they're only getting about 200 impressions on their post. So this one has 600 impressions, but it's a retweet of Sharon Lee getting an award here. Retweet of another author, 500 impressions. Melissa's got 400 impressions for her book 19 hours ago. And so not much there. This is a author who is talking about the book, 1.2K impressions, 2 comments. Not a lot going on there. So you got 3 retweets of the book, and you've got this one that has, again, you've got so many books on here, it's not going to show anything. And so you don't really have much here going on. Here's an interview with a guy who has 1,000 followers, got 500 impressions, and that's about all the marketing they gave her. And so that's not going to actually help much. I mean, that many impressions might get a couple of followers, might convert to 1 to 10 sales. You need to do better than that, and really need to give a reason for people to see things. And that's a big, big problem, that a company like this is getting so low impressions. So yeah, big trouble over there. Released a book, nothing sold. They didn't have marketing. Nobody's watching their live streams. Nobody's paying attention to their socials because it's boring. And that's the worst thing you could be in a market, is boring. And their website, if you're a new person, you go to this and you're like, this is atrocious. What's going on here? Really needs to be fixed. A huge marketing fail right here. Very, very sad. Like I said, I'll try to connect with this Melissa Olhoff and see if we can, she's a nice lady. We'll try to help her sell her books. And that's one thing. Now, Arc Press, the ones who went out of Baen, are showing their chinks in their armor as well. And so what is a publisher, and why do publishers matter? Oof. Way to instill confidence right there. You are a publisher, and so you're going to ask people directly, why do they even matter? Well, I can tell you right now, they pretty much don't. If a company like Baen Books is leaving your book to go to the wind and just die, and they're not paying royalties on time for other authors out there, and they're waiting for their big authors to actually generate checks to do that, that's a big problem. And this is not the only book I've seen do this by them. There's a great author a few years back I watched, and the guy didn't even get told his book was coming out until somebody said, hey, we saw that your book's out on Amazon. And he's like, what? That's how incompetent their marketing's been, and that's why this kind of thing's been happening. So Arc Press, again, it's the same people, just kind of moved over, and this is kind of a crazy thread right here where they're like, please come to a publisher. From a certain point of view, a publisher company that aggregates services collectively to take a writer's manuscript and transform it into a finished book available for purchase by readers. So what they do is they have an editor, and they slap a cover on it, and then they put it on Amazon. All these things you could do yourself, easily. Anybody could do that themselves. A cover, you can get pre-made covers. They're not going to be the best for $50 to $100. If you want to get a good cover, a lot of my new covers right now are about $850 to $1,000. But I understand people don't want to front that for their stuff because they might not, recoup that. I will. And editors cost about $1,000 also. So it's not that hard. So it's a couple grand. It's a pretty low barrier to entry to have a professional looking manuscript. So that's it. And so here's all this stuff, and they make it sound a lot more crazy than it is. Developmental editing, copy editing, line editing. I mean, it's all editing, proofreading editing, layout. There's a program that does this. You can just stick it in there, and you can just do it on Kindle. Book and cover design, cover art, interior illustration. Most books don't have any interior illustrations. Securing legal permissions, marketing, sales, series development, career consulting. So all this stuff sounds very corporate speak and resume, and it's just what I told you. They give you an editor, they slap a cover on it, they put it on Amazon, right? They'll make a social media post about it. That's not going to be effective. And that's what they do. Especially given today's technology, a writer could do all these things for themselves. Yes, correct, but might prefer not to. Yes, but if you do, you're going to lose in these publishers, for ebooks and things like that, are going to take at least 50% of your revenue at that point. For this. So it's if you think you're going to sell at all, like I said, if you're in a position where you've got a following and you're going to sell, why would you give up 50% of your revenue for, a few hours of work? You can outsource it to a guy on Fiverr for cheaper. Next, you can, if you don't have a following, again, you're still not going to sell anything, so you're still not going to make money. So that's it. A writer might survey the market looking for a publisher that offers a collection of services he doesn't want to do himself or doesn't think he could do well. These are easy things to do yourself, guys. This is ridiculous. And so they're trying to do this. Services aggregator is not an unreasonable way to see publishers. Well, gosh, you should charge a flat fee then and just do it that way. Charging for royalties and all that and getting a percentage is crazy. That'd be the only reason to use a publisher at that point. There's another way to see them. Well, that's interesting. You're now 6 posts into this. And as a new press that's funded by Peter Thiel, trying to rally troops behind why people need a publisher, you're now 6 posts into what you're saying that you basically do clerk level wagey service for, and that's it. Now there's another way to look at it. Oh my gosh, this is bad marketing again. These people are just incompetent. Publisher exists to defend a point of view, a range of a point of view, aims to gather writers who share compatible points of view, and you don't see that very much, like with anything. To impact the culture. So this is a culture war argument for the publisher. Well, that's great, and I'm glad these guys are nominally on our side. Obviously, they don't like me for reporting on them, which is ridiculous. But it's again, these people don't see how things go. If you want to do a culture war thing, this is a different thing. And so here it is. You want to recruit the right writers, a third party of the publishers to build, maintain, and operate its broadcasting tower. They act like they've got again, couple thousand followers. I mean, there's not much here. We at Arc Press are not looking for what will sell on Amazon or what is hot today. We're looking for writers who have big ideas we like, and express those ideas in exciting stories. So wait a minute, you're not looking for things that sell? But if you look at their lineup, it's Larry Correia, who's just going to sell off of his name. It's and it's a couple conservative influencers who work for the Daily Wire who don't even write science fiction. It's not really about big ideas. It's about their big platforms. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be the same situation. They'll have people who have their own followings. Their books will sell. And then somebody who gets a contract who's going to be one of their buddies or something like that, because that's actually the only people they'll hire, who doesn't have a following, is just going to be putting out their book on the Vine, and it won't sell. Now, this is headed up by one of the editors who's big here is DJ Butler. He's a science fiction writer, again, with Baen Books. And I've been told from people internally at Baen Books that his books just don't sell. He does not move books whatsoever. And so that's the person they've got in charge of actually promoting things here as well. So as you can see, this whole industry, all the way around, from every scope, from every perspective, globally, from publishers going out of business, from publishers not even getting paid and then not even being in bookstores anymore, to publishers who aren't promoting people, to new publishers who are promising to do the same with the very same people with the very same tactics, this industry's in big trouble. And these dominoes are starting to fall. It's not going well. And what's happening is just people are just buying independent books because it doesn't matter. You don't need a publisher. The publisher brand doesn't do much. There's not loyalty for publishers' brands. And independent's winning. Everybody I know who's doing indie stuff is just growing and winning and having a great time writing what they want, not having to worry about things. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing these days. So there's my publishing industry state of the union right now. These guys got to get with it, and I can teach them how to market. It's like some days I toy with doing that. Like I can make a course model, but I don't want to do that. I just hate it. I could consult with these guys, but they want to drag their feet in the mud. They want to be that old pub. They have this vision that people are just going to see these things because the quality of the work. But if you don't have great marketing, you've got nothing. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, this is some great stuff right here. The Stars Entwined. If you like 80s Baen books back in the day, if you like fun science fiction, big sweeping space opera with epic characters, grab this. It's in the description below. Thank you for doing that. And sign up for my newsletter so I don't lose you. This is where the indie marketing's at. My newsletter is growing. We're gonna be over 10,000 by the end of the year at this growth rate, and that's a big deal. You got 10,000 book readers. Again, what's some stuff that people are not utilizing right here? Good stuff. Leave a comment down below, my friends, and we'll be back soon.